I'm pretty sure there's generals in Trump's lineup right now that are saying, "Hey, we need to expand this in a certain way in order to get a full victory out of this." And it's like when you say with ground war, I do think that it's going to involve boots on the ground at some point. It may not be exactly ours, but I feel if it's going to be anything, I feel like it's going to be our proxies in the Middle East, probably with like Israel, Saudi, and all that stuff. Get like more of these Abraham Accords uh, states, like countries unified together
Yeah.
against Iran, and that's the way I would do it
I think
personally.
for me, the problem with boots on the ground is what do we do after? See, that's why again I think Trump's pursuing a Venezuela thing.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to. He doesn't
But
want to.
technically, we had boots on the ground there too. It was just a Delta operating team.
Right. It was in and out quick. But I'm talking about a regime. Iraq, Afghanistan regime change.
Yeah,
That's not what anyone wants.
no,
I mean, so but you said maybe someone else. Well, I mean, if that's truly what Saudi Arabia and some of the other countries over there want, then maybe they should. But I don't know. Do they have a ground army capable of doing something like that?
I'm not 100%
I don't
sure.
even know.
I haven't really done any research into any of the
Yeah.
Middle Eastern countries' military capabilities. I feel like there should be some out there. I mean, you got the states like
Yeah.
we all know, like Egypt has a standing army. It may not be huge. I feel like with the resources that Saudi Arabia has, they have to have something.
Right.
I just don't know the extent of
Well, I
it.
mean, would you say it feels like we're at a stalemate right now?
It can come off as that, yeah, but I think it's because we've dominated so much, we're kind of running out of shit to blow up.
Air campaigns and bombings only get you so far.
Yeah.
But one of the things that was said, I think it might have been by the Joint Chiefs, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, forget his name right now, but no, my brain's now trying to remember his name. Anyway, he what he said, I think we're at the point of diminishing returns, where for the effort and the expense of the weapons, especially considering some of the shortages, what are you really gaining anymore? We've disabled their ability to launch and fight and things to a great degree, but we're at a point now where the diminishing returns. To keep bombing them, what are we really gaining? There's not much left to. Yeah, I mean, unless you want to literally do what Trump said and go after power plants and things like that, but
I mean, like,
now Saudi Arabia doesn't want that in the other countries because they know that they'll get targeted.
yeah, I mean, and that's just like the crazy complication of this and the geopolitics of the
Well,
region. It's
and
just
who
it's
knows? Even they may even be worried about terrorism within their country. It may not be, their only concern may not be from inaccurate missiles and occasional drones. It may be their own people.
yeah, I mean, which is very possible. Do I think where we're at right now, are we at danger of losing this? No, I don't think so at all. When it comes to looking at the numbers between our military, Iran, there's no comparison. I already think I would claim that we are at this point at a strategic strategy, or sorry, a strategic victory at this rate. I would argue that to the moon and back, and we're basically at that point like we were when it came to the initial invasion of Iraq. We came in and we basically took over the country in a matter of, in their case, it was a matter of weeks. And then all it was basically counterinsurgency at this point. And basically those nuisance attacks that I'm seeing that we're talking about that Iran is doing, it's basically that's all it is their form of insurgency. It's a matter of just being a nuisance and propagating, like giving negative propaganda back here when it comes to the war.
Right.
That's their only way they can fight at this point. They cannot take us on head on. And so it's just a matter of, I guess we could close this out with a question: is what exactly needs to happen?
Well, let me give you my take before we
Okay.
close it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Since I I don't know what the end game is here. I feel like it is a stalemate. I don't think that it's obviously not a defeat, but will Trump achieve what his goal was? I don't know. I mean, I don't see how he can at this point. But I do think it's possible we just say, yeah, all right, we just find an exit, a way to exit this thing and move out. The concern, where we're kind of trapped on doing that is I think that Iran could just close the strait and start charging, people to use it. So in a sense, we're kind of stuck there. But and the other thing is, yeah, we've done a lot of damage, but they're trying to repair all that every day. They're there digging out those tunnels and trying to put things back in order so they can fight.
I'm not diminishing or doubting their
Yeah.
resiliency. Like if they're anything, they're those theocratic beliefs of theirs make them a very formidable opponent in the
Yeah.
sense of that they can take a beating and
Right.
come back. Like I'm not diminishing that towards them whatsoever.
Well, I mean, they
there's-
may be thinking, hey, Democrats win the midterm, which, historically should happen, if you just look at it in terms of history without even thinking about the issues. Then, the Democrats put pressure on Trump to get out of there, in addition to, nonstop impeachment.
yeah, well,
That's what we're in for. So that could be they're just waiting for that. They just got to hang in there. Now the part of the problem is there's a lot of economic damage. I mean one of the leverages we still have is we could possibly say to them, all right, we're going to leave. We're not going to let you close the strait, okay? Because if you do, we'll close it. But we're done. We're done. We're just going to leave you go the way you are, and you're not getting any money to help you rebuild. Just leave it at that. So if they don't have money and they can't move oil, they can't make money.
they're just going to collapse internally anyways.
Yeah, I mean they're struggling now. Their economy is just.
I think it was like $1 is like 1.64 million reals. That number might be a little inaccurate.
And there are still people with. I think I heard that they did some. They're still doing. What do they call them? Executions. They're executing people that are protesting and things like that. So. I don't know. Maybe that, and then maybe that might be kind of where we're at now. Is we're just going to stay there, enforce a blockade. We don't have to launch anything else.
So basically,
keep reconnaissance flying.
Yeah.
If they put up another radar to try to restore their dome, take out the radar.
It sounds like basically what you're saying. More than likely, it's like potentially spark a civil war inside of Iran.
Yeah, unfortunately, you would need some factions of the military to take the side of the anti-government group, and that's hard to see how that would happen. Well,
I mean,
I'm not in there. I'm no.
it would have to be
I know
more on
very
the
little,
it would
but-
more have to be on the levels of a civilian level insurrection. You would just
But
have to find a way
Don't
to
they
get.
need weapons and
Well, yeah, they would just have to figure out a way to
figure
get
out
them.
a way to arm them?
Yeah, I mean that'd be one way I would do it, but at
Yeah.
the same time, not when it comes to these things, there's not exactly a how-to manual on how to end these things.
I mean, here's the problem. So you look at the U.S., Civil War and the Revolution. One of the things that's different that the Iranian regime would do is if you were part of a revolution, they would take out your family. Mm-hmm. They don't care. They're like the mob. Mm-hmm. I mean, they have no, they believe what they're doing is morally the right thing to do, that they're serving God, but that's what they would do. They would just blow up your house.
So it's just very complicated. Like we can sit here and bounce back and forth. Like we could bounce back and forth on our thoughts and opinions on how this thing should be done or could be done or how it can end. But
I mean, I think it's probably going to. I don't know for how long, but I think it's going to kind of stay where it is right now. For we're not going to attack them. We're going to maintain a blockade. I don't think Trump's going to make any more big threats, and we'll just monitor what they're doing. If they start replenishing some of these radars and things that are a threat, we'll take it out.
Well, he's got until the midterms, I guess, to figure it out. Because I mean, at least every effort to hinder Trump's ability to stay out there has been blocked. Now, if Republicans lose the midterms, then that's more likely going to be able to be passed through it.